They laughed at her swing. They said it was wild, ugly wrong. Too much power, too much emotion, too much everything. She didn't fit the rules. She didn't match the picture. She wasn't supposed to win. But she didn't care, because she was not here to be accepted. She was here to win, and she would become the greatest tennis player the world had ever seen. Her name was Serena Williams. Welcome to Learn English with Stories 365. Today we'll improve your English through the unbelievable true story of Serena Williams. Just give me a few minutes, and I promise you won't forget it. Because this story is not just about tennis. It's not about trophies, money, or fame. It's about you. It's about struggle. It's about being told you're too loud, too strong, too black, too bold, and still rising. It's about pain, power, and purpose. Serena didn't come from private clubs or luxury training. She came from cracked courts and gunshots in Compton. She didn't wait for permission. She didn't need the world to like her. She just showed up. Again, and again, and again. And with every serve, every scream, every broken barrier, she changed history. So sit back, listen closely, and open your heart. Because this story isn't just about Serena. This is English listening practice with power. This is vocabulary with victory. This is speaking confidence with courage. This is for dreamers, for fighters, for learners like you. Let's begin. Part 1, Childhood in Compton. Before the trophies, before the headlines, before the world called her a legend, there was just a little girl with beads in her hair, holding a second-hand racket standing on a cracked tennis court in Compton, California. Her name was Serena. Compton was not a safe place. It was loud, violent, and dangerous. People heard gunshots in the night. Police sirens were normal. Kids were not supposed to dream big there. But Serena's father, Richard Williams, had a dream. A wild dream. He decided before his daughters were even born that they would become the best tennis players in the world. He read about tennis champions in a magazine. He saw how much money they made. And he made a plan. He wrote a 78-page strategy to turn his children into champions without money, without help, without experience. Richard was not a tennis coach. He didn't even play tennis himself. But that didn't stop him. Every morning he took Serena and her older sister Venus to the local courts. They were dirty. They had cracks, sometimes broken glass. But he didn't care. Champions don't need perfect conditions, he said. They need belief. Serena was small, strong, and fast. Even as a little girl, she hit the ball with surprising power. But she didn't always love it. Some days she cried. Some days she wanted to stop. But her father kept pushing. "You're going to be the best," he told her. "You just don't know it yet." They trained every day, before school, after school, in the heat, in the cold. People in the neighborhood stared. "Why are those black girls playing tennis?" some asked. "That's not our sport." But Richard didn't care. He told them, "You'll remember these girls one day." Serena and Venus didn't have fancy coaches or private clubs. They had each other, and they had a father who believed in them more than anything. While other kids played video games, they practiced serves. While others laughed at their dreams, They built their future one swing at a time. But Serena wasn't just learning tennis. She was learning how to fight, how to survive, how to believe in herself even when the world didn't. And that lesson would stay with her forever, because the journey from Compton was just beginning. Part 2. Early Struggles. Serena was good, really good. But in the early days, no one saw her. Everyone saw Venus. Venus Williams, tall and graceful, was the first to shine in junior tournaments. Coaches called her a future star. She was fast-focused and always calm under pressure. Serena watched from the sidelines. She played in the same tournaments, hit just as hard, but the attention always went to her big sister. Their father, Richard, had a strange plan. Just when Venus started winning, he pulled both girls out of junior tournaments. Most tennis parents would never do this. Those matches were important for ranking experience and scholarships. But Richard said, "This system is broken. My daughters are not here to play their game. We'll play our own." The tennis world was shocked. Coaches said he was ruining their careers. Commentators called him crazy. But Richard didn't care. While other kids played matches every weekend, Serena and Venus trained at home. They practiced in silence, away from the noise. Richard believed too much competition too early could destroy confidence. He said they need time to grow before the world judges them. Still, it wasn't easy for Serena. Venus was older, stronger, and always ahead. When sponsors came, they called for Venus. When magazines wanted photos, they chose Venus. And Serena waited. In interviews, people asked, "Is Serena as good as Venus?" She smiled and said yes, but deep inside she wondered. Was she just the little sister? Was she always going to be second? But here's the secret Serena never told anyone she was watching. She was learning. Every match Venus played, Serena studied. Every mistake, every win, every loss Serena remembered. She didn't complain. She didn't argue. She just worked harder. At home, Richard pushed Serena even more. He said, "You're going to be greater than Venus." Serena didn't believe it at first, but slowly something changed. Her body grew stronger. Her serve got faster. Her footwork sharper. She was becoming a weapon quietly in the shadow of her sister. Then came the moment of truth. Serena entered the professional tennis world. She was only a teenager. No one expected much. Some called her Venus's little sister. But Serena had something no one saw coming. Fire, focus, fury. She was not here to play nice. She was here to break the rules. And one by one, the world would learn Serena was not the side story. She was the storm. Part 3. Breakthrough and Doubt. When Serena stepped onto the professional court, something changed. Her walk was different. Her stare was different. She didn't look like a beginner. She looked like a fighter. But the world didn't know what to do with her. Tennis was a sport of traditions, quiet, polite, mostly white. Serena didn't match that image. She was bold. She wore bright outfits, loud hairstyles, and beads that clicked when she ran. She shouted when she hit the ball. She celebrated with her fists in the air. Commentators called her too emotional, too aggressive, even too muscular. They said her power was not elegant. Her strength was not feminine. Some even asked if she belonged in women's tennis. But Serena didn't listen. She kept showing up. And then, in 1999, something amazing happened. Serena was just 17 years old when she entered the U.S. Open. People didn't expect her to win. The field was strong. Big names. Experienced players. But match after match, Serena played with fire. Her serve was like a rocket, her footwork like lightning, and her focus unshakable. She beat champion after champion until she reached the final. And in that final, in front of thousands of people, she did the impossible. She won. Serena Williams became the first African-American woman to win a Grand Slam title in the Open era. The crowd roared. Reporters rushed to her. Cameras flashed. A star was born. But something strange happened after that. Instead of celebrating her, many people questioned her. Some said she got lucky. Some said it was Venus's win, not hers. Sponsors were slow to call. Headlines talked more about her body than her talent. Some journalists made jokes about her arms. Others compared her to men. One reporter even asked, should she be tested for hormones? The world had never seen a champion like Serena, and they didn't know how to accept her. But Serena knew what they were doing. She once said, "They wanted to put me in a box. They wanted me to quiet down. Wear white, be gentle. But that's not me." So what did she do? She trained harder. She studied every opponent. She added more power to her serve, more control to her shots. She didn't just want to win again. She wanted to dominate. Her rise was not easy. There were injuries. There were early losses. There were days when her confidence shook. But she didn't give up. She remembered Compton. She remembered those broken courts. And she remembered her father's voice saying, "You are going to be the greatest." And deep inside, Serena began to believe it. She was not here for one win. She was here for a legacy, a new kind of champion, a new kind of woman, strong, proud, unapologetic. And she was just getting started. Part 4. The Power and the Pain. Serena kept winning. Her trophies piled up. Grand Slam after Grand Slam. Wimbledon. The French Open. The Australian Open. The U.S. Open. She was breaking records. She was becoming the best. But with every win came a price. The world loved her strength on the court, but judged her for that same strength off the court. When she shouted in victory, they called her angry. When she wore powerful outfits, they called her disrespectful. When she stood tall and proud, they said she was arrogant. Serena wasn't just playing tennis. She was fighting stereotypes every single day. And it hurt. She once said, "I've been called manly because I'm strong. I've been called scary because I'm confident. But I am who I am. I'm Serena." While she battled on the court, life off the court brought real pain. In 2003, Serena's older half-sister, Yetunde Price, was shot and killed in Compton. Yetunde had been Serena's assistant, her friend, her family. Serena was in the middle of her career, but everything stopped. The grief was heavy. She took time away from tennis. She cried alone. The strong champion everyone saw on TV was now broken inside. But Serena returned. Again. And she won. Again. She played with the name Yetunde stitched into her shoes. She carried her sister with her onto every court. Still, the world didn't stop criticizing. Her clothes were too much. Her body was too strong. Her emotions too loud. She was drug-tested more than other players. She was fined more often. Commentators questioned her sportsmanship, her style, her behavior. No matter how many times she won, she had to prove herself again. And again. Serena responded in the only way she knew through power. On the court, she was unstoppable. Her serve became the most feared weapon in tennis. Her backhand cracked like thunder. Her presence shook opponents before the match even began. But behind the power, there was pain. Her body started to break down. In 2010, she cut her foot on glass and needed surgery. Then came more injuries, knees, back, shoulders. But the biggest danger came in 2011. Serena suffered a pulmonary embolism, a blood clot in her lungs. She almost died. Doctors told her to rest. Some said she might never return. But just months later, she was back sweating, training, swinging harder than ever. She said, "I didn't come this far to stop now." And she didn't stop. In the years that followed, she dominated women's tennis like no one before her. She reached world number 1. She won multiple Grand Slams in a single year. She wore superhero catsuits, tutus, braids, and bright colors. She was more than an athlete. She was a symbol for black girls, for women, for fighters, for anyone who was told you don't belong. But Serena still felt the weight, the loneliness of being the only one like her at the top, the constant judgment, the pressure to be perfect. And yet she stood tall, because every time she stepped onto the court, she wasn't just playing a match. She was making a statement. This is who I am. This is what I do. And I'm not finished. Part 5. Comebacks and Legacy. In 2017, Serena did something no one expected. She won the Australian Open while pregnant. Yes, she was 8 weeks pregnant when she played and defeated the best players in the world. She didn't tell anyone. She didn't complain. She just played and won her 23rd Grand Slam title, breaking record after record. After the win, she quietly left the spotlight. She became a mother. Her daughter, Alexis Olympia, was born in September 2017, but the delivery almost killed her. Serena had complications. She had to have an emergency C-section. Then she got another blood clot in her lungs. She couldn't breathe. Her body was in crisis. For weeks, she couldn't even walk. She spent months recovering, learning how to stand, how to move again. The champion of the world now had to fight just to hold her baby. But Serena didn't stop. She once said, "Being a mom is the toughest job in the world. But I still have something to prove." In 2018, she came back to tennis. Not just to play, but to win. She reached Grand Slam finals again. She fought her way through matches while balancing motherhood media pressure and a body still healing. Every serve was harder, every match more emotional. But the world watched in awe. How is she still doing this? People asked. The answer was simple. She's Serena. But this part of the story was not just about tennis. It was about change. Serena was no longer just an athlete. She was a movement. She spoke up for black women dying in childbirth because she almost became one of them. She started her own fashion brand because she didn't see enough clothing made for strong, powerful women. She invested in startups created by women and people of color. She stood up for players like Naomi Osaka, who faced media pressure and anxiety. Serena said, "It's okay to not be okay. You don't have to hide your pain." She also changed how women in sports are seen. She wore outfits that told stories a superhero catsuit after giving birth a tutu after being told her clothes were inappropriate. Every look was a message, every appearance a statement. You can be strong, you can be feminine, you can be a mother, and you can still be a champion. Serena's legacy grew larger than the game. Girls started playing tennis because of her. Mothers started believing in themselves because of her. Entire generations saw what was possible because of her. And through it all, she remained Serena, fierce, focused, unshaken. She once said, "I don't like to lose at anything. Yet I've grown most not from victories, but from setbacks." That's what made her different. She never stayed down. She never gave up. And even as her body slowed down, her purpose only grew stronger. Because Serena wasn't just building a tennis career. She was building a new idea of power. Power with heart. Power with pain. Power with purpose. And she was still not done. Part 6, Retirement and Message to the World. In August 2022, Serena Williams wrote a letter to the world. It was published in a magazine, but it felt more like a personal goodbye. She didn't call it retirement. She called it evolution. "I'm evolving away from tennis," she wrote, "toward other things that are important to me." After more than 25 years, Serena was stepping off the court. The news broke hearts. Fans cried. Players paid tribute. Journalists called it the end of an era. But Serena was smiling. She was ready. She wanted to focus on her family, her daughter Olympia, and her business dreams. She wanted to live life without training schedules, pain, or pressure. Her final tournament was the 2022 U.S. Open. The stadium was packed. Celebrities, athletes, and fans from all over the world came to see her one last time. And Serena, she played like it was 1999. She fought hard. She ran, served, and screamed with all her heart. She didn't win the title, but she won something bigger: respect, love, and legacy. After the match, the crowd stood for several minutes, clapping, crying, cheering. Serena took the microphone and said, "Thank you, Daddy. I wouldn't be Serena if there wasn't Venus. Thank you to everyone. It's been the most incredible journey." Her voice cracked. Her eyes were full. It was not just an ending. It was a celebration. Serena walked off the court, slowly waving to the fans, smiling through tears. That moment, became history. But she didn't disappear. Today, Serena is building businesses helping women investing in the future. She's raising her daughter and living with purpose. She gives speeches. She writes. She inspires. And she reminds us all you don't have to follow the rules. You can make your own path. You can be strong, soft, bold, different, and still be enough. Because Serena didn't just play tennis. She changed what it means to be a champion. And even without a racket in her hand, she is still winning. Conclusion: Serena Williams was more than a player. She was a revolution. She didn't just win matches, she changed minds. She didn't just break records, she broke rules. She didn't ask for space, she took it. And in doing so, she opened the door for millions. This is not just the story of a girl from Compton. This is the story of what happens when someone refuses to be small, refuses to be quiet, refuses to give up. Serena showed us that your body is not a problem. Your anger is not a weakness. Your difference is not a mistake. It's your power. She taught us how to rise after loss, how to fight through judgment, how to stand tall, even when the world wants you to kneel. She taught us that you can win with sweat, tears, and love, and that success means nothing if you can't use it to lift others. So what can you learn from her? That no matter where you come from, no matter what people say, no matter how many times you fall, you can still rise. You can still rewrite your story. You can still be great. And while you're learning English, remember this: every new word is a step forward. Every story you hear makes you stronger. Every sentence you speak brings you closer to your dream. This story was not just for tennis fans. It was for dreamers, for learners, for you. Because Serena Williams didn't win because she was perfect. She won because she was real. She was fierce. She was ready. And now it's your turn. What's your dream? What's your comeback? What's the thing people say you can't do? Let this story live in your heart. Let it remind you they laughed at her swing, but now the world studies it. Thank you for learning with us at Learn English with Stories 365. If this story moved you, if it helped your English, if it gave you hope, then keep going. Keep growing. And never stop believing in yourself. The best is not behind you, it's ahead. So get ready. Your story is next.